Mike Littlewood, BYU baseball coach, making his weekly stop in Studio B. It's National High Five Day, Coach.
Is it really?
It sure is.
Give
Yeah.
the man a high five.
Absolutely.
Boom! Yeah. That's how we get it going in Studio B. Okay, so you joined the Twitter conversation yesterday when we were talking to Colton Mahoney. We learned that one of your players, Riley Gates, was really excited to play a game one day. And Colton said it was like 4 hours before the game, and you amended that to 6 hours. Can you confirm this actually happened?
Yeah, it did actually happen. It was more like 6. It might have been 5, but it took me, well, just to back up a little bit, we were bringing a recruit in that day, and we're giving him a tour of Miller Park, and I click on the code in the clubhouse, and we walk in the clubhouse, and there was about 12 guys sitting there just kind of, lounging around, and some in shorts, some in school clothes or whatever. And I look over here and I see Riley Gates, and he's like fully decked out in his uniform already. It's like 12:30, yeah, and he's eye black and he's a pitcher. I was wondering what's going on. It took me straight back to those days when you put your football uniform on or your baseball uniform the night before you play when you're in Little League. That's exactly what it was. I'm excited. I don't think he pitched that day. I mean, Riley gets to pitch like an inning a week. We're working on building his innings, but yeah, he was pretty excited. I wish all my guys would be that excited to play every day.
And BYU fans are excited and will be excited about this next announcement. You have a recruiting announcement that you bring into studio today.
We do. I mean, all of us in the BYU baseball family and administration, everybody's super excited to announce that Kyle Dean out of Rancho Bernardo High School in San Diego signed with us yesterday morning. Aflac, All-American, Perfect Game All-American, Under Armour All-American, member of the USA baseball team. As a 15-year-old and 17-year-old, I mean, this is a first-class player, first-class kid, and first-class family. I mean, we've got the whole package here, and we're just super excited that Kyle's decided to join us here at BYU. He'll be here in the fall. He's a senior right now. He was the first player I talked to. He was, I think, a 9th grader going into his sophomore year in San Diego, and had a great conversation with him, and he actually committed to another school. So we kind of had to cut off communication for about a year while he was committed there, but he decommitted, and man, we're just so excited. Our players are excited, our coaches are excited. This is a great thing for BYU baseball.
Big time.
6'2", 225. I heard about this kid when I was covering high school baseball in Southern California in local news.
Huh.
Like, I mean, he had a reputation as a very young ball player, like you said, at age 15. What are his specific skills that he will bring to the BYU baseball field?
Well, besides his skill set and the tools he has athletically, I mean, he's got such great experience at high level of baseball, and he plays for Sam Blaylock, one of the best. He's going on 40 years coaching high school baseball. He's a legend. So he's got that like sixth sense we talk about in baseball. He's going to be a coach on the field for us, but he's a 5-tool player. I mean, he does it all on the field. He's got the potential to do it all. He was projected a year ago as a first rounder, and had some hamstring and hip problems that he got over, and so his draft status slipped a little bit, but he could clearly still be a first rounder. I mean,
wow.
he's that type of guy. And what I like just getting to know Kyle over the last, and his family over the last 3 years is we're getting a class kid too. We're getting a kid who's gonna to fit in, not a member of the church, but I mean lives the standards, and that's one of the reasons he wants to come here, is because he wants to thrive in this culture, in this atmosphere, and hopefully this does a lot to bring other great non-member players to BYU, which we need. I mean, we need a good mix, and Kyle's definitely going to be one of those guys that's going to be an immediate impact guy in the middle of our lineup next year.
And coming up, we will talk to Kyle Dean as well, live from San Diego. My first thought with that is I didn't know whether he was LDS or not. Is BYU typically doesn't get members of other faiths that are All-Americans.
Yeah.
How did you get him to come to BYU?
Well, Kyle's father went to BYU, and so there's that little bit of his dad knew a little bit about it, and I think he's got some family here. Stuart Dean, his uncle, works for Nuvi here. But really, those are the ties right there. I think he loves the mountains, loves the change of. Believe it or not, I sent him a text of the snow one, like, and I'm like, you sure you want to come into this? And he goes, I love it, and it was just so happened that it snowed in San Diego that day, just the one time in 10 years it snowed. So he likes that. I mean, he's not caught up in I've got to be at Arizona. Believe me, if he wanted to go to LSU or Miami or Florida or anywhere in the country, he could have done that. Texas, I mean, it didn't matter. Everybody was recruiting him. But I like the fact that guys have enough confidence to say, I want to go in and help a team get to the next level. And that was really our recruiting push with Kyle is, you're going to be good. You're going to make the big leagues if you keep developing. And him and his family put their trust in us as a coaching staff and surrounding players to help him develop and get to that next level, which we've done for 20 years, get guys to pro ball. And but I like the fact that he's going to come in and wants to help us. Our players, returning players, have developed great relationships with him, so they're excited, and he's going to be a great fit. He's not just with the team, but at BYU. This is a class kid, class family.
You take 2 of 3 at LMU, tied for 5th in the West Coast Conference, 1 game back of 4th. How dialed in is Kyle with what's happening with BYU baseball right now?
He's very dialed in, watches every game on BYUtv, and honestly, the games at San Diego when we just got boat raced was not good for us, and I think it gave Kyle some doubts, honestly, and as it should have. I mean, nobody wants to lose, and Kyle wants to win. That's the one thing, as well as everybody on our team. We finally have that culture now where everybody wants to go on the field and win every single day, and that's so huge. You think about, well, they're on a team, they're going to want to win. That's not always the case. You got a lot of guys sometimes that go through the motions, and I don't think we have one guy right now on our team that's going through the motions. And Kyle, I think, feels that. He knows our commitment. He knows the administration's commitment to making this program, an elite level program, top 20 in the country. That's what we want to do. And if you're not thinking Omaha when you walk in Miller Park, then you're not thinking the right way, because I never, when I went down to Dixie and took over a 22 and 26 team from Bruce Hurst, that we thought we'd get to the World Series, and we did it in 2 years, and we won it, about 7 or 8 years later. Ooh. Sky's the limit. You just never know if you just kind of put the work in and go out and you need good players. It's not all coaching, believe me. You need good players. But Kyle's kind of the center of that. I mean, we can build our program around a guy like that. And you get the 10 other guys that we've got coming in, great athletes that will be here. Our first full recruiting class of 10 guys going to be on campus in the fall. We love where the program's going.
So there's still a chance he can be drafted and then go pro.
Yeah.
How does that work? And how do you get a commitment from a guy to – because if he comes here, he's got to stay 3 seasons.
Yeah, he's got to stay 3 years or until he's 21. So return missionary, that's why Tanner Chauncey was able to get drafted last year. He was 21, was drafted on his mission. So that's kind of an interesting dynamic as well with BYU. But, there's always a chance. I mean, my son was the same way. Marcus was the same way. He had kind of the same credentials as Kyle did going in, and had committed to San Diego, signed a letter of intent to San Diego, and ended up being drafted 67th pick overall, and ended up signing. That's the fear we have with Kyle. But I told Kyle and his parents, we're not going to get involved in that. It's between their family and whoever is advising them. It's up to those guys, and whatever's best for their family, we know they'll do. I know that. I don't think that Kyle will sign if it's not top 25 pick type money, life-changing money. And so I think we're pretty safe in that regard. But if he is the 20th pick and he's being offered 1.5 to $2 million, I mean, we're going to stay out of that. We're not going to try to go sell him, because he knows how much we want him here and what BYU can do. That's just a kind of a family decision after kind of being through that personally.
It's good to be in this predicament, though,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
He's so good that can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We want, and I can tell you, without naming names, we've got another guy with similar credentials in the junior class at a different position, a key position that has already committed to us. And so, you kind of see those guys going, and as well as, I mean, there's always guys that are going to play up to that level, even though they don't have the credentials. And I feel like we've got some really good, whether bloodlines or just athletes that are going to be coming in that I think people will be really, really excited about in the fall.
What's your number one sell as a recruiter for BYU baseball?
Well, I think for where we're going, the commitment to the program. I mean, you see beautiful Miller Park and all the things, the great things that are going on. The commitment to the program, the work ethic we put in, and really the sky's the limit as far as potential. To the parents, it's like, why wouldn't you want your son or daughter to go to BYU? This is the safest place, really the greatest place culturally that you can find, and you have to go look for trouble. It's out there if you want to find it, but for the most part, you're going to be on our team with a roster of 35 guys. You're going to be surrounded by, near 35 guys that have the same goals and the same value system, and you're just not going to get in trouble here unless you really go search for it. Plus, academically, how can you beat BYU? I mean, it's just a tremendous academic school, and when you come here, You're going to have a great job when you get your degree. And so those are some of the things. But
I'm signing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sign me up. Let's go. I'll
Probably
go
better give
another
you-
4.
Probably better to see if you can run better than a 5.35
Hey,
40.
into a headwind on aerated grass.
By the way, that translates into we run the 60. I don't know why in baseball. That's a 60 and a good time. Like Brandon Lund runs his best time was a 6.39. So like what 8.10s over your 40. But not to rub it in. But Colton Shaver runs about a 7.5 60, and I think your 5.3 5.40 would translate into a 7.9 60.
I am faster than Colton Shaver.
Colton Shaver's
I am faster than Colton Shaver.
Better hitter, and we know that.
So,
Oh
anyway,
my goodness!
I just want to throw that out just to make you feel good the rest of the day.
If I win another 4, I
Do
could
we
improve
have
my
to have
GPA.
Mike Littlewood on again?
Yes.
Where's my yellow card?
I wanted Mike
Where's my
Littlewood
yellow
on.
card?
Trying my best to get fired. I guess it's not working.
Well, congratulations on that. That's big time.
Yeah,
to
it's
get
huge
Kyle
for
Dean.
us.
Among others, I imagine you have others that sign.
Yeah, we have a class of 10 or 11 guys that have already signed in November in the early signing period. We get an early signing period in,
So he was
in November.
a late signing.
Yeah,
I guess, the senior.
he decommitted to the previous school just 10 days before. So yeah, we went through the whole process, and I've got to know this guy and this family really, really well. And again, BYU is going to be he'll be an asset to BYU. It's going to be fun.
Who was the previous school?
I'll let Kyle say that if he wants to say that.
Okay, fair enough. Mike Littlewood with us in Studio B on BYU Sports Nation. Let's talk about the current status of your BYU baseball team before we let you go. 1 game back of the top 4 right now after winning 2 of 3 on the road at LME. You're 8-7. But the thing that we've talked about before, Coach, is you've played most of the higher tier of the West Coast Conference, and you have an 8-7 record. So how do you feel about your chances to really make a run here, knowing that you've got, other than San Francisco, the lower half of the conference remaining?
Yeah, well, and you look at San Francisco; they're playing very, very well. San Francisco has played the lower half of the schedule. They played, I believe, Gonzaga, but they still have to play, I believe, San Diego and Pepperdine and Loyola. So all those teams have to play each other. And you're right; we've played as the coaches vote. I mean, we're talking about as the coaches vote preseason. The top 4, Loyola was picked to win at San Diego 2nd and Pepperdine 3rd, Gonzaga 4th, I believe. We've played all those teams. And
you won 3 of 4 series against those 4.
We've won 2 of 3 against 4 of those 5 teams. And so, yeah, we love it, but we have to take care of business, especially next weekend. We have this weekend when offer finals, but next weekend against San Francisco is going to be huge. It's if we can win that series, I mean, that really kind of solidifies it for us. But again, they throw two lefty starters that kind of, that we are some of our better hitters. Uri and Robinson and Lund are left-handed guys, so that's a decent matchup for them. But we've faced left-handers and we've handled them fairly well. So it's gonna be a tough series. It's gonna be a great series. One that we have to win 2 or 3, no doubt.
Mike, congratulations on the signee. We will talk to Kyle Dean coming up in about 15 minutes on BYU Sports Nation. Enjoy the week off. Go beat Utah and then beat San Francisco.
Sounds good. Got practice in half an hour.
All right.
No days off, man. Got to go practice.
No, there are no days off.
Thanks, guys.